On the night of July 26, 1941, a heavy mist covered the waters of the Gulf of Finland. Far out in the outer archipelago in the Baltic Sea stood Finland's southernmost outpost, the small wind-swept island of Bengtskär, only slick bare granite sloping straight into the sea, and the 52-meter granite lighthouse dominated the entire rock. From the top of the tower, Finnish observers could monitor Soviet traffic in and out of the occupied port of Hanko and direct artillery fire from coastal batteries. For those reasons, Soviet General Sergei Kabanov had ordered the Bengtskär island captured and the lighthouse destroyed. Realizing the risk, the Finnish High Command reinforced Bengtskär. On the 20th of July, Lieutenant Fred Luther arrived with 26 men, and few days later, Corporal Esko Nurmi's three-man 20mm Madsen anti-aircraft crew joined them. With the original detachment under radio operator Corporal Ripo, there were now 37 soldiers defending the rocky island. Soviet assault plan included 7 MO-class patrol boats. The first 2 boats, carrying about 30 border guard troops each, prepared to land on the southern shoreline and secure the way to the lighthouse. A third boat carried a demolition squad to blow up the whole lighthouse once the way was secured. A fourth boat acted as command and fire support, while 3 more were held in reserve. By 1 a.m., they had closed to within 300 meters without being detected. In the tower, Lance Corporal Ryanen spotted shapes through the haze. He flashed the agreed Morse signal, but the Soviets simply repeated it back. Confused and with poor Morse skills, Ryanen tried twice more before raising the alarm. This crucial delay gave the initiative to the Soviets, catching the Finns in complete surprise. Hauled up from the basement, machine guns were positioned in the upstairs windows. The enemy's first squad had already advanced dangerously close, only dozens of meters from the lighthouse. From the upstairs windows, the Finns opened fire, and the enemy took cover behind a 1.5-meter terrace wall. On the 3rd floor, in the radio room, Luther found Private Angelin with a satchel charge. Angelin managed to throw it just behind the terrace wall. The satchel explosion eliminated about 10 Soviets. Moments later, Angelin was cut down by return fire. Meanwhile, on the western side of the island, Corporal Nurmi's Madsen gun crew remained undetected. They spotted a third boat, a Soviet demolition team attempting to land on the shoreline. Nurmi waited until the boat was within a few tens of meters before opening fire with alternating armor-piercing, high-explosive and tracer rounds. The smoking vessel withdrew into the mist. Nurmi considered the mission complete and, together with Virtanen, decided to swim 2 kilometers to a small islet. Both survived. The third member of the Madsen crew, Private Kajander, who was unable to swim, did not make it. Inside the lighthouse, the situation began to look serious. The enemy kept precise fire control on every window opening, making it difficult to return fire. In the radio room, Corporal Ripo maintained steady contact, calmly relaying developments under fire. Lieutenant Luther began directing friendly artillery. First, he ordered fire onto the waters around Bengtskär. The 152mm guns of Uro and the 120mm guns of Granholmen opened up. The Soviet MO boats, which had been circling and hammering the lighthouse, were forced to withdraw. Luther then shifted the fire onto enemy positions he could see on the rocks. Artillery shells slammed into the hard granite surface of the Bengtskär, explosions sending high-speed fragments in all directions, slowing the Soviet advance. Despite the pounding, Soviet troops forced their way into the ground floor. The Finns withdrew upstairs, preparing for close-quarters combat in the staircase. With the low ammunition, the Finns waited tensely by the staircase. The noise of enemy movement grew louder, and they decided to use one of their last grenades. After pulling the pin, they held it briefly before tossing it, ensuring it detonated in mid-air amidst the enemy. The blast eliminated several and forced the rest into retreat. For the moment, staircase was secured. At 3:45 a.m., the Finnish gunboats Uusimaa and Heminmaa appeared out of the mist. From 4,000 meters, Uusimaa's second shot hit the Soviet patrol boat PK-238, the explosion lighting the sea. Under the gunboat's cover, Lieutenant Kaikkonen's 4th Coastal Company, about 60 men in 4 converted fishing boats, landed on the eastern shore under cover from Uusimaa and Heminmaa. Progress on the island was slow under enemy fire, coming from small rocky crevices across the islet, as well as from the ground floor windows of the lighthouse. Eventually, they managed to clear the Soviet positions one by one. By morning, they reached the lighthouse, linked up with the exhausted defenders, and stormed the ground floor. By the end of the battle, none of the Soviet landing force made it back to Hanko. Around 30 were taken prisoner. From these prisoners, Finnish intelligence confirmed details of Hanko's garrison strength, the positions of its coastal batteries, and the schedules of its naval patrols. The cost to the defenders was heavy. 21 Finns were killed in the fighting, and more than 40 were injured. The following day, Soviet bombers struck Bengtskär with a 200-kilogram bomb, killing 11 more, among them several who had survived the night's battle. Bengtskär remained in Finnish hands and was left in peace from further attacks. The granite lighthouse continued to stand watch over the Gulf of Finland.